Hello, this is Tax Talk, a production of the Liberia Revenue Authority, the LRA, and it's all about the taxes you pay and the plenty benefits that come thereafter just by being compliant and remaining on time with your fair share of lawful revenues due Mama Liberia. But first, these highlights. And of course, my name is Elvin Jask, and thanks for joining us.
With our BVAC is to expand the loading dock.
So, Deputy Managing of BVAC International.
I'm of the LRA.
Where fire service personnel come to work. When it comes to the tax money taxpayers pay. And looking at just
well, if people don't pay taxes, basically the services would go away.
If we that time up personally, maybe we've met each other, but we don't know each other. But I can, from a distance, say, they're doing a great job. You can see their website.
This is the Liberia Revenue Authority, the LRA, government's hub when it comes to tax administration in Liberia, currently headed by veteran tax administrator Afrida Stewart Tamba. She's all focused on domestic resource mobilization as emphasized by the Liberian leader and president Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. This visual shows the different aspects of the benefits of the taxes you pay. Your tax money is indeed worth the value, having stayed compliant and remaining on time. The Rabas International Airport gets mooring scanning machine. The free port of Monrovia gets to be expanded with more containers coming in. And of course, a Western style of tax education with the benefits being emphasized by fire service personnel and police officers from the state of Minnesota in the United States of America. Let's now begin with the expansion of the free port of Monrovia, one way to facilitate trade, and of course, the process of paying taxes in Liberia. And later on this program, Liberians in the diaspora speak about the LRA.
You've been here for a couple hours. For what specifically?
Purposely to meet with APMT on how we can improve the service to our people, particularly those who use the port. Also to review the new systems we employed at our one-stop shop, and now we are at the DI site. Similarly, to see how we can improve our service, trade, facilitating trade. How can we improve our service to the importers?
There might be some concern from them. Is that why you came down, or are you just pushing the LRA to a different level?
We have set service standards, and we want to make sure that we adhere to our own service standards. So occasionally we have to visit the port, we have to review the systems and see those systems that we have in place, how those systems can be better improved. Continuous improvement, continuous enhancement, continuous strengthening of systems. Those are essential for any modern administration.
So what are the key priorities if you are to take quick measures for them to begin to feel free?
Okay, one of the things we're trying to do in collaboration with the service provider or BVAC is to expand the loading dock so that we have additional inspections, because as it is, we have a physical constraint whereby we only able to inspect 2 containers, and the effort is to see how we can expand that to at least 3 to 4 containers.
Okay. Are they complaining about the timing, getting the commodities out and goods?
Yes, yes. We have a lot of complaints on that, so we're reviewing the system, we're reviewing the records to confirm whether or not what the importers, the timing the importers are complaining or indicating are indeed occurring, so that we take additional measures. But clearly, underpinning everything is how can we introduce pro-business initiatives in order to improve the processing time.
Thank you so
I'm
much.
a senior examiner of the LRA and responsible for the destination inspection site.
And what's your name?
Pauline Suna.
Talk about your operations here, how tough and how easy it is if you were to point some of those out.
The operation here is actually challenging because we got a public on our back, and then considering the space that we got to work with, so we try to manage the limited space to get our service delivered to the public.
Okay. With the CG on ground, what are the prospects for customers using this entry if we were to be told by you?
Oh well, we can assure our customers that in the next coming day we will try to make the necessary adjustment so that as to deliver their cargo to them on time. I know her visit will be fruitful. There will be a lot of changes here in the coming days.
What is the relationship between the examiners and other inspectors who've been contracted like BVAC?
Oh well, the relationship is cordial. As you are aware, BVAC was contracted by the Liberian government. They work along with us on a daily basis to ensure that we can deliver, especially from the level of inspection to the public. So I love working with BVAC. They are very cooperative.
Wow. You got a message for the expansion of this place, what to come when it comes to those who are worried about space?
Oh well, those that are worried for space, we can assure you that with the support from management, especially the CG, in the coming days, instead of 4 containers on the dock, we hope to inspect up to 5-6 containers. So I'm sure that will bring relief to the many people that are stuck in the terminal.
I heard from 10 days it came to 5 days. Are there brokers, some kind of information you can tell me more about time lapse between clearing or some paperwork?
Oh well, the time I can speak about is the time that has to do with doing business in
Before
this year,
going into
not
storage.
beyond. Yeah, no. For a year we conduct only examination.
Okay.
All right. So the time too has to do with when you come.
Okay.
For your service. If you come in time, we serve you and then you leave.
Okay.
We don't hold people here except where you maybe breach our law.
What a great message. Thank you so much.
Henry Bernard, Deputy Managing Director,
For
BVAC International.
Okay. Are you based only in Liberia with the inspection, or you also do that overseas?
We conduct inspection in 138 countries around the world.
Okay. So those that are coming from Minnesota with their containers, how did they get inspected?
Well, before you begin inspection, importation of any goods in Liberia, you must first of all obtain an performance invoice from your supplier, whether America, Asia, Africa, wherever, and proceed to the Ministry of Commerce with your performance invoice at the session of Foreign Trade and Ministry of Commerce.
Okay.
They will tap the performance invoice information on the IPD. After that is done, BVAC inspection fees is calculated. You go to BVAC office where we got the banks,
Okay.
deposit your inspection fees. That is done. Then BVAC will in turn process your document. You must put your supplier in America or China contact number on the IPD.
The destination inspection site at the free port of Monrovia to hold more containers than ever before. What a great news for traders using Liberia's waterway. And Mr. Henry Bernard of BVAC is all ready to facilitate the process of inspection, both in Liberia and abroad. With that, LRA custom inspectors ready for the job of using a modern scanning machine in facilitating traders and taxpayers coming through this port of entry.
About trade facilitation is very cardinal. You know, our customs are moved from revenue now and focus more on trade facilitation. So how do we do that? And how do we form part of the global custom community? And the machine, the scanner machine you see out there is a modern machine. It takes custom from a more manual environment to a technological environment. Now, before, when you arrive at the Liberia International Airport to deal with custom, you notice that your baggage has been open. Because we have to conduct physical inspection, we don't have that technology to conduct the physical inspection. So currently, with the coming in of the baggage scanner machine from our partner, the UNDP, that will enhance our ability. Now, if you look, we will not have the option to open your bag again. We'll just scan your bag through, and we'll be able to identify. We'll be able to identify while you're carrying your bag because we are trained. Now, the training is ongoing from actual phases it gave us the leverage to know what you're carrying in your bag, whether it's organic material, whether it's inorganic material, or whether it's a metal. We are trained for that. And as you say, for the past 1 week, we have been undergoing the training, both theoretical and the practical aspect of the training.
So, as an LRA personnel, customer expert, tax administrator, what are you going to be looking for in the baggage that we scan?
Well,
in terms of tax and revenue.
Of course, we'll be looking for a durable item. Don't forget that most travel around the world to buy expensive things. I think that the roller watches. These are smaller items that cannot be easily identified, but the scanner will help us directly to just pick it up from the bag. You know, of course, for a roller watch, somebody will buy 150,000 for just a watch alone. So that will help a lot, and of course, it will enhance revenue. You'll notice that when you improve your trade facilitation, it will serve as a catalyst to boost up the revenue.
So you're saying visitors, international guests, you're going to be more confident and more convenient to travel now that you're not going to be putting your hands in their baggages, right?
Yes, perfectly.
The last time you put your hands in my bag, something got missing?
Well, no.
But there are some advantages and disadvantages on that.
Yeah, it is, because Mr. Jar, look, personally, if you come, you travel, you get, especially the ladies, they get a close in the day. It's unprofessional. You get your hand,
personal effects.
Yes, get your hand on people things. So I mean, the coming of the Artifixes scanner will boost our activity at the airport.
Send a message to travelers, special message as it relates to your sophistication for them to be confident enough to travel to the airport.
Okay.
As a revenue expert, short message.
Well, we just want to monitor our traveler when you come to the Broward International Airport. You need to be free and open. We have moved to the more technological aspect of search at the airport. This time around, we won't open your bag. We will not put our hands in your things. We will just scan you through. And of course, when we scan you through, we'll notice. Because we are trained. If we notice anything unusual in your bag, it will be the only time we open your bag. So you can feel free. There will be no queue at the Broward International Airport arrival. You'll notice this time around you arrive at the terminal. You see custom have moved on decks. It's a walkway. So we'll be doing something called at random search. So that will help us to improve our own status as custom expert in Liberia. Of course, this goes out to our donor, the UNDP. We are more grateful to them for providing those scanners for us. We cannot say more, just to thank you in our own Liberian way. The scanner will help us a lot, moving on from the more manual environment to a technological environment.
This is Tax Talk, and this is Erasmus T. Williams, George Morris, and Henry Gapier, all of the state of Minnesota in the United States of America, as they gave the separate talks about the LRA work for the Liberian people.
I think Frida Tama is doing a great job. I think a lot of people at the LRA, currently they are setting up system. Of course, when you come in with a new system, it's met with serious resistance. It's, in our respective discipline, we are taught that, and, so we know that. The next government should create a very smooth transitional process, not getting rid of everybody. Try to make sure the system that we have, the one that are working, there are people to transition into the new leadership. And also the ones that are not working, the people who are there should be able to accept some change that will be coming by the new people that are coming on board. At the same time, we want to make sure when our taxes are paid, it be used for the proper purpose, especially roads, schools, and health. We want our country to improve, and we are not going to give up on that. And that's why I don't know if Frida Tama personally. Maybe we've met each other, but we don't know each other. But I can, from a distance, say, they're doing a great job. You can see their website. I love it.
Fortunately for me, I worked with the Freeport as a senior staff accountant before I even left Liberia. So I got a good knowledge of how the port run in terms of revenue generation. That's one area that really needs to be revamped.
Is what should it be of importance when it comes to creating the awareness, you as an expert in financial management and accounting?
Taxes is the engine for which runs the country. Without taxes, government collection of taxes, the country just can't run. So it is very important that people pay the taxes. Okay, people do. You don't only pay taxes. In some instances, when you do get an overpayment in your taxes, okay, we call it refund. So that's one of the advantages of during the course of the year, you pay more in taxes. So come tax time, say at the end of the year or the first 3 months of the following year, you get a refund if you do pay substantial taxes. It's very, very important that you pay taxes. Here we call it, you don't play with Uncle Sam. Okay, that is, you don't cheat Uncle Sam. That is the worst thing you can do here in America, to tamper with the taxes here in America, because they take it very seriously. Every development, road construction, just name them, it is based on your taxes that you pay.
Here's what I would rather put my taxes to. 1, education. 2, decent housing. 3, healthcare facility. And if there is a 4th tier priority, agriculture development. Those are my priorities.
This is in Minnesota, the United States, where fire service personnel come to work. Some are on full time and some are on call. But this building is just one of many they have in Frickley. And then other cities within Minnesota also have different fire service departments. Again, paying your taxes will mean having the best services like you see here today.
Engine at every station and a rescue truck at every station.
Okay.
This engine is our main engine out, so it carries hose, water, extrication equipment, a bunch of different tools on it. So if we get a car accident where somebody's trapped, this is the truck that we're going to bring.
It does towing as well?
Nope. It has tools on it where we can cut people out of the car.
Oh, we cut the cars up
Yep.
and get it up.
Yeah, I'll show you those.
Okay.
So this is a hydraulic pump. Our extrication tools run on hydraulic pressure.
Okay.
So then we got a pair of cutters.
Oh, that's like,
Yep, so this is basically a big scissor for metal.
okay. Because whatever strong metal it is, like this guy.
Yep, any metal on a car pretty much.
Okay.
And then this one right here is what we use for spreading.
Oh, spreading. What's
Yep,
that?
so if somebody's trapped in the car and it's not really bad but the door's not open, we can use this to open up the door.
Who could you say owns these trucks and all the equipment? Who could you say?
These would be the taxpayers that own the trucks.
Okay, why?
Because they pay taxes in the city, which provides equipment to the fire department and the police department and public works. So basically, their taxes are paying for the equipment that we use to service the public.
Why, if they didn't pay their taxes, what's going to happen to you in their services?
Well, if people don't pay taxes, basically the services would go away.
Okay. So what could you say to people like my country if they want to have engines like these?
I would say go ahead and get a government going and that pays taxes, and you could potentially have equipment like this.
The police is next when it comes to the tax money taxpayers pay. And Lieutenant Gene Mock of the Frickley Police Department in Minnesota has more.
For a few minutes with one of the nice kids in the community. That's good. And then up here is one of our canines. We have 2 police dogs that serve us very well. You know, a police dog, their sense of smell is so much greater than a human's that they are great for fighting crime, for tracking and looking for lost or missing people. So this is just a display that we use, and it also shows a kind of a partial picture of one of our squad cars right down there in the corner.
Great. Lieutenant Lieutenant Mark. Of course, he's the guy in charge of investigation back here in Frickley. We're discussing his services to the community as it relates to the taxpayers who pay their hard-earned money for services they received from the government, the state, and of course, they being police officers in the field implementing those services.
Well, I think our entire country realizes the benefits of paying taxes and the services that we get for that. Now, whether that's police services or things related to health and wellness, to recreation, we have all kinds of city parks, state parks, national parks that are all funded with tax money. So those are all ways that by people contributing their little bit, it comes back to benefit them in the long term.
Why, if there are no taxpayers around or people paying taxes, what would happen to your establishment?
Well, we have to have some way of being able to pay for the facilities, pay for the personnel, and without taxes, we wouldn't be able to do that. So I think it's just really clearly understood in this country that in order to have those services, and it could be everything from, running water to being able to flush toilets, to having, in Minnesota, of course, we get plenty of snow in the wintertime, and we need to have snow plows that clear the snow off the roads. Well, there are state plows that do that on state highways, and there's local snow plows that are funded by tax money that do it here in the city, in the municipality of Fridley, to get that taken care of.
What a great way to educate people who may be somewhere in a third world country like mine, underdeveloped. What would you say to them with respect to what you said? Services are given to them based on what they remit to the revenues, right? So
Yes.
Send a message back to those who don't know about taxes and the benefits.
Right. The issue is if you want to do something right, there's going to be a cost associated with that. And in order to do that, it's almost like everybody has to do their part, whether they're business owners, whether they're individuals, and by paying, even a small portion of their money in taxes, if that can start working towards paving roads or providing health care, providing education, or providing police services, everybody benefits in the long run.
What happens if the government does not do enough with the money taxpayers pay? What happens?
Well, there's the challenges, the way it works here is there's so many different ways, they call it checks and balances, that when the money comes in, it doesn't just come into one person to disperse. There's many different organizations and people that oversee that to make sure that it's distributed so that there isn't an opportunity for corruption. The challenge is in some areas or maybe some countries, if there isn't that proper oversight, you don't know if the money coming in is getting sent out adequately or appropriately.
What do you know about Liberia? Can you say something?
Well, I know it's been probably decades of civil war and all kinds of turmoil, and there's different groups that are trying to fight for leadership, and it's been just decimating for the economy, and the civil war and the death and the injuries and disruption to the country and to families is just it's absolutely unheard of. So they're really I'm aware that they're going through all kinds of struggles.
Its leader, they talk about Liberia being dependent on foreign aid donors, and it's about time that they create the awareness for revenue generation, which I am doing today. So in that light, what could you say to a country like Liberia, which has gone through devastating civil war, with the economy shattered? What could be a good message from somebody like you who knows the benefits of tax when they are paid on time?
Yeah, the benefit is definitely there. The challenge is to be able to get that message across and be convincing that needs to take place. If they're having a hard time, having running water, or putting food on the table, or even taking care of the safety of their family, that usually probably comes first in most families' lives before they think about paying taxes. So, sometimes it almost seems like unless there can be some sort of an agreement and peace and civility can finally take over instead of war and fighting, it's really going to be an uphill battle.
Great. It's been a nice time talking to you. And this is one inspiration for we Liberians. Lieutenant Mark is in Minnesota, and he knows exactly what taxes people paid due to their community and the services they render. I have been Alvin Jask, and thanks so much. It is a pleasure having talked to you today.
Nice meeting you. Thank you.
Talking about taxes and the benefits. The background is indicative of what you get if you pay your fair share of lawful revenues into government's coffers. This is just one part of our look at developments as they unfold in other parts of the world. And and this is the United States, and this is one of many fire services or departments you see around. Back here in Frickley, Minnesota, the fire trucks, the fire service department with all the different technologies and equipment are here because taxpayers pay their own fair share of government's revenue. And this is exactly what the LRA back in Liberia is urging everybody in Liberia, having gone through a devastating civil crisis, to do same to maybe compare to other countries in the world. So see it, look at it, and make your own fair decisions about paying some money into government's coffers that you are to and you are supposed to do for your own benefits in protecting you, your children, and the unborn generations. I'm Alvin Jask.